Okay, this this episode is really kind of cool. So I I was at a period in my life where I was trying to find out how God created me, and not how everybody else created me to be, like my parents and all that. How the world created me to be. Um, I was getting kind of sick of being that guy, and I was really striving to figure out and listen to the Lord about how He created me to be. So one night before I went to bed, I prayed about it. I said, Lord, can you just show me how you created me to be? And I didn't get anything. The next morning, I got a download from him that said, this is the first thing he said to me: I created you to speak in front of 5,500 people. Like, no. I argued with him. I said, Lord, I can't do that. I said, I was still working full time, and I said, Lord, I get in a meeting, I get 5 people, I can talk just fine in a meeting. But as soon as that 6th person walks in, I don't know what this is about. I get this lump in my throat. I can't speak. I can't do it. I said, you got the wrong guy. And then I was thinking about Moses and Aaron. But anyway, so I kind of forgot about that. That was the first thing he showed me. So a couple weeks later, my daughter comes to me and says, hey, Dad, I got a problem in political science, and I need your help. Can you figure out a way to get me some extra credit so I can do better in the class? And I'm like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. So that was a year, I think the second Bush was running for office. My daughter was in high school. And so I got the brainy idea on the way home from work. I was on my motorcycle, the big cruiser with the ape hangers. I pulled into the Republican, whatever the heck that thing's called, the rally office on Main Street there in Longmont. And I pull in, and they were open. I said, hey, do you guys got any tickets to that event that's happening in Greeley? Apparently, Bush, George was coming in for a rally. And they said, no, the Democrats, they got all the tickets, and then they don't show up to the event, so nobody will be there. And I'm like, that's kind of wrong. And I said, well, that's too bad. Should I try another office? And they said, well, I'll tell you what, if you want to put your name in the hat to work, we can check with Secret Service and see if you get cleared, and maybe you'll go to work. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to work it, but whatever. It's for my daughter's class. So I gave them my social and my daughter's social, and away I went. And I thought, they're just trying to get rid of me. So a week went by, I think. The event was in a few weeks, and I get a phone call on my phone from Washington, D.C. I'm like, you don't think? I thought it was a scam. I pick up the phone. What the heck? Well, this is Secret Service. Is this Tracy Klein? And I said, yeah, it is. He says, you have a daughter, Christine? And I said, yeah, I do. And he says, you're cleared to help us. We want you to show up at the event and get there early. Gave me a time. And I understand you're a Marine? I said, yes. And he says, wear something that says Marines on it. And I know who you are. Okay. So we show up. I wear my leather vest and stuff. It's got Marine Corps stuff on it. And we show up. Sure enough, they were expecting us. And they checked us out and everything, checked our phones and all that. And they said, okay, we're going to put you and your daughter up in the handicap section, or the senior citizen section, or whatever it was. It was next to the podium. And we want you to help put all those people up into the bleachers. I'm like, hey, that's cool. And we'll go do that. So my daughter and I took off, and shoot, we got done early because they let all the older people, seniors, and um, handicappers and all that. We got in there and we put them all in there, and they were all in their seat and everything. And here we are waiting for everybody to get done. We were kind of excited, it was exciting time being able to see a president. And so I'm sitting there. Secret Service walks up to me, and he's got a microphone in his ear. He's got a suit, black tie, sunglasses, the whole bit, right? Played the role. He walks up and he says, hey, come here. So I stand up and walk over there. He says, how you feel about helping me out? And I said, well, what do you need? And he said, I want you to go up to the podium right before the president comes out, and I want you to say this and this and this. I want you to memorize it before the president comes out, and I want you to do you think you're okay with that? Your voice is big, and you you can you do it? And I'm like, I'm panicking. My daughter's looking over at me, and I'm like, ugh. I mean, there's a mob of people there, and I'm like, you want me to go up on the podium and speak to all those people? He says, yeah. Do you think you could do it? And I look at the guy and I say, how many people you suppose are here today? He said, oh, there's 5,500. I had that download 2 weeks prior to that this is how he created me to be. And I'm like, oh, jeez. Right at that moment, I was stricken with fear. Right at that moment. And then when he said 5,500, I went, oh. It just dropped. I looked up and I went, I'm doing it. I said, I can do it. So I walk up there. They gave me the flag. I get out there and I start talking to the people, and I got their attention, got them all quieted down, told them what they told me to say. It was pretty cool. And I actually said it 3 times because I was kind of dividing the crowd up because the speakers, they couldn't hear me too well. And then they heard me. Everybody gave me thumbs up and understood and all that. So I get back to my seat, and my daughter's like, I can't believe you did that. I said, I know, I can't believe it either. So the president comes walking out like 5 minutes later, and he looks right at me and he gives me thumbs up, like he used to do. And I have to tell you, when I was up there, it was like, no wonder why these guys run for office, right? There's so much electricity. There's so much power. There's so much adrenaline rush. It's crazy. I've never felt anything like that before, but it could sure go to your head if you do it for a living. I'll tell you that. You start. I would think that we would start getting addicted to that attention, right? I don't know, but man, it sure felt good. I gotta tell you. So after the event was over, we helped old timers down and got the chairs all figured out, and there was a line forming over by the podium, and I didn't know that the line was for me. They're like, hey, come on over here, we want to get your picture, autograph and stuff. Well, they thought I was with the president, and I'm like the first person. I said, no, I was just a normal guy, and they asked me to help, and they said, well, I still want a picture with you. Okay. So I started saying, by the third person, I'm like, ah, the heck with it. I didn't even explain it anymore. I just started signing autographs and taking pictures and kissing babies. It's just funny. But my daughter and I had a really good day. And she ended up getting extra credit and passing the class and all that stuff. But what a monumental download. And he's done that to me. And I keep asking him, hey, can I have a new download, Lord? How did you create me to be? And I've gotten all kinds. And like the past story with Charlie out on the coast. He kept saying, just be the man I created you to be. And I'm like, that's not easy. I don't know what that is. You've never listed it all out for me. What I'm supposed to what I'm supposed to be doing, who, how I'm created to be. But a takeaway from that last episode about that dream, I know one of the takeaways from that was praying for people, praying for relationships that have failed, praying for families with sick babies, praying for the sick. That's been how many years ago? Shoot, I don't even know. Maybe 15 or something, 13 years ago that dream happened. And it was after that I was asking him to help me, show me the way he created me to be. And it doesn't come fast. It comes slow to me. And there's different events that happen. I could go on and tell you others, but I'm going to save them for other episodes, because chapter 3 is, I'm laying that whole chapter out. And that'll be the end of the book, is chapter 3. But there's a bunch of episodes in there. And chapter 3 is called Purpose. So right now we're living the parts and pieces that he shared with me on how he created me to be. And I started learning how to be a better dad when he started showing me who he created me to be. I started thinking about different problems, and I started praying first about the problems and how the problems unfolded and how he created me to be, to step into those problems with him. Really cool stuff. But I thought this story with the 5,500 people, uh, my wife knew about that. Christine definitely knew. I don't know if I told her or not at the time. I don't think I did. Anyway, uh, but I have shared that story. Oh! I shared it with a friend of mine not too long ago, because I was getting ready to film this episode. And I've been friends with this guy, I don't know, maybe 8 years. And he said, Trace, that's crazy. I was there at that rally when you were there doing that. How about, isn't that crazy? We didn't even know each other at the time. So you just never know, right? So, well, I guess I better go home. The sun's down and it's getting a little chilled. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.